Hey, I'm Nancy Cavey, National ERISA and Individual Disability Attorney. Welcome to Winning Isn't Easy. Before we get started, I've got to give you a legal disclaimer. This podcast is not legal advice. The Florida Bar Association says that I've got to tell you that. Now that I've told you that, nothing's ever going to prevent me from giving you an easy to understand overview of the disability insurance world, the games disability carriers play, and what you need to know to get the disability benefits you deserve. So off we go. Today, I'm going to be talking about how you can live your life while collecting long-term disability benefits, as well as one of the carrier's favorite and most devastating denial tools, surveillance. Disability carriers often forget that just because a policyholder is disabled, that they don't suddenly cease to exist or have any humanity. What carriers don't realize is that disability policyholders do, in fact, continue to live their lives while fighting for the benefits they deserve. I'm going to talk about 5 things today. Number 1, the 2 words that can destroy your ERISA disability claim and why you should never use the words never or always on your ERISA disability forms. 2, is it Freddy Krueger on the phone? The mistakes that you can make talking with the ERISA disability carrier on the phone. 3, what are the most likely times that ERISA disability carriers or plans will put surveillance on you? 4, can you have a life while you're being paid your ERISA disability long-term disability benefits? 5, betting that your long-term disability benefits won't be cut off if you go to the big game? Let's take a break for a moment before we get into this episode. Welcome back to Winning Isn't Easy. Ready to get started? Now, there are 2 words that can destroy your ERISA disability claim and why you shouldn't use the words never or always on your ERISA disability forms. I gave you a hint, didn't I? An ERISA disability carrier or plan is looking for a reason to deny your disability claim or terminate your benefits. You can give them ammunition to create a denial by exaggerating on your activity of daily living forms or in your calls with the disability carriers what you do or don't do. An activity of daily living form is this open-ended form that asks you all sorts of questions about your physical abilities, or attempted rather, to exaggerate your answer in an effort to impress upon the carrier how disabled you really are. That's a huge mistake, and that can create a reason for the disability carrier to deny or terminate your benefits. Inconsistencies between what you report on your activity of daily living forms and what you actually do can be a case killer. Now, that activity of daily living form asks you what you can do. Can you bend? Can you lift? You might say, look, I always have my spouse lift things like a case of water. I never carry things as heavy as a case of water. I never bend down to pick up things. Those absolute words are an invitation on a silver platter to a disability carrier to put surveillance on you. Now, I will tell you that there are some disability carriers like Hartford, Unum, or Reliance Standard who are notorious for putting surveillance on policyholders who are being paid benefits. They want to record you doing an activity that's inconsistent with your response on the activity of daily living forms or what you've been telling your doctor that you're capable of doing. And I promise you that the disability carrier plan will obtain surveillance on you doing the things you said you never could do or the things you said that you would avoid doing. Time and time again, I have seen surveillance films of clients going to the grocery store, bending over, picking up a case of water, putting it in their trunk, taking it out of their trunk. And if you said you can't do those things, the disability carrier or plan is going to take that surveillance film back to your doctor. They're going to ask your doctor to change their assigned restrictions and limitations. Because after all, your doctor relied on your report of what you could do in rendering their opinion about your abilities. Being truthful and don't exaggerating. Those are the 2 key points I want you to take away from this. When you're answering these open-ended questions on an activity of daily living form, it's important that you don't overstate your disability. You don't exaggerate. you need to make sure that you are telling the truth. Now, I think that the most accurate way to answer these open-ended questions is to think in terms of ranges. You might have a good day where you can do more, and you might have a bad day where you can do less. Your answer should always be framed in terms of ranges and not absolutes like never or always. Why is this important? Well, it's also important if you are going to be having an examination at the disability carrier's request, or you're going to be attending a functional capacity evaluation, or even just going to your own doctor's appointment. In those instances, disability carriers will put surveillance on you the day before, the day of, and the day after to counter that good day, bad day type of argument that we lawyers tend to make. So in answering questions about your activities, you need to be, as I said, using ranges, saying good days, bad days, depends on how I feel, depends on what I've done the day before. But as a range, this is what I am capable of doing or not doing. And do not ever, ever, ever use the words never, ever, ever. Got it? All right, let's take a break.
Have you been robbed of your peace of mind by your disability insurance carrier? You owe it to yourself to get a copy of Robbed of Your Peace of Mind, which provides you with everything you need to know about the long-term disability claims process. Request your free copy of the book at caveylaw.com today.